Meeting A, meeting opening. A1, call to order. A2, pledge of allegiance and moment of silence.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will now be observing a moment of silence. Thank you. A3, adoption of the agenda. Are there any consent agenda items that a board member would like to have discussed as an action item? Any consent agenda items that would like to be discussed as an action item? Hearing none, do I have a motion that the governing board adopt the meeting agenda?
I move that we adopt the meeting agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Contreras. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Ms. De Ocampo. Any discussion? Oh, no discussion, sorry. All in motion say aye. Aye. Motion passed. Moving to B, public comment, B1. No public comment. Moving to C, consent agenda. Do I have a motion that the governing board approve the consent agenda items C2 through C15?
I move that we approve the consent agenda items C2 through the C15.
Yes. Do I have a second, Miss? Do I have a second? I second it. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. And now we'll have Ms. Perry with some remarks.
Good evening, President Navarez, governing board members, and Dr. Mayes, and our Alhambra community. With the approval of the consent agenda this evening, I would like to introduce our two newest Alhambra principals to all of you and to our community. First, over at Sevilla East, I would like to introduce Miss Griselda Cohen.
Good evening, Madam. Good evening, President Navarez, members of the board, Superintendent Dr. Mayes, and Alhambra community. I'm honored and excited to join the Alhambra team as principal of Sevilla East. In my career as an educational leader, I've had the privilege of serving as a teacher, interventionist, coach, K-5 assistant principal, and K-8 principal. And these experiences shaped my belief that the foundation of a thriving school is a culture of inclusivity, continuous learning, and a shared commitment to student success. I am committed to building strong relationships and empowering the team at Sevilla, strengthening school culture, and prioritizing academic excellence. I'm excited to get to know my Sevilla community members, families, and students. I am so grateful for all the support I've had in these past few days from the executive directors, from Dr. Mayes, Ms. Perry, and I'm happy to see some friendly faces here from Sevilla. A thank you to the board, Dr. Mayes, and Sevilla for entrusting me with the responsibility of serving as the principal of Sevilla East. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Cohen, and welcome to Alhambra. Thank you. Also, in addition to Ms. Cohen's approval, you've also, with the approval of the consent agenda, I'd like to introduce our new principal of Sevilla West. And this gentleman is one of our internal applicants as well. He's currently the assistant principal at Catalina Ventura School, and we're so excited to introduce him as the principal of Sevilla West, Mr. Glenn Hale.
Good evening, President Navarez, members of the governing board, and Dr. Mayes. My name is Glenn Hale, and I'm truly honored to be selected as the next principal of Sevilla West. I am both humbled by the opportunity and excited for the journey ahead. Over the past 17 years, I have the privilege of serving in a variety of roles in education. I began my career as an instructional assistant, later stepping into my first teaching position as a physical health educator on the Standing Rock Native American Reservation in North Dakota. Following, I moved to Arizona and taught health and sports nutrition at Casa Grande Union High School, where I also served as the freshman head basketball coach. When the program was discontinued, I transitioned to Hohokam Middle School in the Coolidge Unified School District, continuing my work as a physical and health teacher. Shortly after, my wife and I had the privilege of serving as full-time youth pastors in California. While there, I remained connected to the education through substitute teaching at both the middle and high school levels. Upon returning to Arizona, I re-entered the classroom at a charter school as a classroom teacher and was later given the opportunity to serve as the varsity head basketball coach and the athletic director for 4 years. In that role, I worked not only to build a strong athletic program, but also to support academic achievement and character development among student athletes. This experience laid the foundation for my current role as assistant principal at Catalina, where I have proudly served for the past 4 years, working alongside what I consider some of the best leaders and educators. In this role, I've continued to grow as a leader, focusing on data-informed decision-making, instructional best practices, reducing chronic absenteeism, and positively influencing student behavior and choices. I fully embrace the Alhambra core values, which align seamlessly with my personal life's model: love well, lead well. I strive to live these principles in every area of my life. One guiding question I often ask myself is this: what does love look like in this situation? Because I believe that leadership is rooted in love, paired with relentless pursuit of excellence, which creates real and lasting change. Most importantly, I want to take an opportunity to express my deepest gratitude for my beautiful, amazing, and supportive wife, Tasha, and my incredible son, Zayden. They are my biggest supporters in everything I do, and their love and encouragement inspire me every single day to be the best leader, husband, father, and human I can be. It is truly an honor to join Sevilla West, and I'm committed to serving our families, our teachers, students, and community with passion, integrity, and unwavering dedication. I look forward to all we can accomplish together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and we welcome both of you to this new journey and to the team. All right, moving to D, Business Department. In D1, there's the financial report. At this moment, I just want to ask the board if they have any questions. This would be a good moment to ask any questions. I'm just going to try to say this every time we have a board meeting, so we can leave that room for that. Hearing none, moving to E, Human Resources. E1, Revised Administrative Salary Schedule. Do I have a motion? Can I call for a motion that the governing board approve the revised administrative salary schedules for the 2024, 2025, and 2025-2026 school years to include a $5,000 doctoral stipend for eligible administrators?
Mr. President, I move that the board approve the revised administrative salary schedules for the 2024, 2025, and 2025-2026 school years to include a $5,000 doctoral stipend for eligible administrators.
Thank you, Mr. Conchas. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. De Ocampo. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. President. I really care about retention and especially recruitment of our administrators, and we have top-notch, high-quality administrators that are here with us in the audience and also across the district. And so that is why I am in full support of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Conchas. Any other discussion?
I echo what Mr. Concha said, and I also am totally fair. For all these years, I never realized that we didn't have a doctoral stipend for all of our administrators. So, so that's an apology on my part, and also supportive of finally got it right. So,
Thank you, Ms. De Ocampo. And I'll just quickly add that it speaks to our values of being, lifelong learners. And so I appreciate seeing this here. Hearing no other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Moving to F, new business, F1, supplemental materials. Do I have a motion? I call for a motion that the governing board approve the K through 8 supplemental materials list.
I move that we accept the administration's recommendation for the board to approve the K-8 supplemental materials list, which is attached.
Thank you, Ms. De Ocampo, for the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Conchas. Do I have any discussion? And I believe we have comment as well. Dr. Lindsay's.
It would help if I turned it on. I will provide a brief overview, after which I will answer any questions that you might have. Aligned with Arizona state statute, we are submitting a list of supplemental materials for consideration and approval. As stated in 15-721, the governing board may approve all supplemental materials used in classrooms. Next, I'll share a definition of the different categories of materials that we use in ed services. So there are three categories of materials that we go by. One is adopted texts and materials. So the adopted texts are the items that are taken through a formal adoption cycle, and that includes electronic resources, and those received approval from the governing board. Supplemental materials are educational services or district-supported materials. They are materials in which district provides professional development, financial support, and use at multiple sites. And this is what we get approval from the board annually for. Ancillary materials are teacher-selected materials to enhance curriculum, and those have approval from the principal. So that's a choice at a school site of what additional materials to use. So the process for review and submission is that each school site submitted materials they would like to have included. District coaches and ed services reviewed the materials for alignment to district goals and state standards. The ed services team then added resources where they might be needed, and then the final supplemental list was completed and is now submitted for approval. So these are the current district adopted curriculum resources. So for math, we have Envision, ELA is Wonders in Study Sync, Science is Inspire Science, and in social studies, we have Study Weekly and McGraw-Hill. So these supplemental resources are things that might be used outside of these district adopted curriculum. So this is the link of the proposed supplemental materials. And you'll see a couple of, this includes all of the things that schools submitted, but again, we did add some things, for example, for tier 2 and 3 reading intervention. We added some middle school reading intervention and materials for gifted, ESS, and our EL populations as well. And so this makes sure we have a robust amount of materials available for our school sites to use. All right, thank you. We also prepared a list of questions that might come up from our school sites regarding supplemental materials, such as what if one of the materials we currently use isn't on the list? What happens in that case? And so there's an explanation of how those materials may still be incorporated. Also how funding works, what's purchased, what's not purchased. And last, what can happen if there's a material someone would like on the list, but it isn't currently on the list. So just some questions that school sites might have. This is just a quick reference for their convenience. All right, and with that, I can answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you. Do I have any questions from the board?
I don't have a question, but I have a comment. Thank you very much for putting together this list. I personally think it's indicative of the community support that we provide, that we let principals and staff at those schools make some choices for materials that are outside of this list and take on the responsibility for making those choices. Because as we all know, each school doesn't have the same makeup. Each community has some different learning needs, so it's important to me that the principals and the staff have those choices available to them. And it seems from your list that you have looked at different scenarios across the board and have come up with a great variety of materials that will supplement our regular textbooks. So thank you for the work that I'm sure many people contributed to making this list. Thank you.
They did. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. De Ocampo. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passed. Moving to F2, approval of amendment to the intergovernmental agreement, IGA, between the City of Phoenix and Alhambra Elementary School District Number 68. Can I call for a motion that the governing board approve the amendment of the IGA to support early childhood education?
I move that we adopt the administration's recommendation for the board to approve. Ooh, I'm on the wrong one. Sorry, gotta move down one.
F2.
Yeah, I'm still on F1. I move that with the administration recommends the governing board approve the amendment to the IGA to support early childhood education.
Thank you, Ms. De Ocampo. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Contras. Any discussion?
Oh my gosh, I could go on and on and on. Thank you for our district and for Head Start and for us being able to provide such a wide breadth of services to our early childhood students. We as a district are really, I feel, committed to standing by the belief that the earlier you get working with our students, the better chance they have of succeeding as they move up through the years of their educational experience. Research has definitely proved that. I have a great deal of respect for what the district has done for our preschool programs and keeping them in place, and for the staff and the leadership at our preschools that do some amazing things in their classrooms. I hope that we as a district will stay committed to doing whatever we can to support the early learning of our students.
Thank you, Ms.
Suarez?
Yes.
I would like to thank the City of Phoenix on behalf of the Alhambra Elementary School District for 362 slots for our fiscal year 26. I just can't say thank you enough, and really appreciative of the grant and of the funding and of the opportunity for our kids. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Contras. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passed. Another one we all came for. G, board policy. G1. I call for a motion that the governing board approve the second reading of policy JIH, student interrogation, searches, and arrests.
Mr. President, I move that the governing board approve the second reading of policy JIH, which will be now titled Student Interview, Searches, and Arrests.
I second.
Thank you, Mr. Contras. Thank you, Ms. De Ocampo. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passed. Moving to G2. I call for a motion that the governing board approve the second reading of policy GCD, professional and support staff vacation and holidays.
I move that the governing board approve the second reading of policy GCD, professional and support staff vacations and holidays.
Thank you, Mr. Ocampo. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Contras. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passed. G3, second reading of policy A, district mission and belief system. I call for a motion that the governing board approve the second reading of policy A, district mission and belief system.
Mr. President, I move that the governing board approve the second reading of policy A, district mission and belief statement to also include the words fair and impartial. Thank you.
I second.
Just to make sure, just because this is the second reading, I just want to make sure we can add.
Make a motion to add that, then that would have to be voted on, and then you would have to vote on it again.
Mr. President.
So we'll backtrack and then we'll start with.
Mr. President, I move that we retract that motion in order to move forward with an amendment.
I retract my second.
Yes. All right. So now with a new motion.
Mr. President, I would like a motion from the governing board to approve an amendment to include fair and impartial in the policy A district mission and belief statement. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Conchas. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Ms. Del Campo. And discussion?
Where-
Yes, Mr. President. So in the vision statement, I would like it to say the Alhambra Elementary School District will promote knowledgeable, open-minded, and caring thinkers through fair and impartial access to academics, athletics, the arts, and activities. Students will be cared for, enriched, and immersed in intellectual and social experiences. Thank you.
Would you repeat that wording for me, please?
Through fair and impartial access to academics, athletics, the arts, and the activities, students will be cared for, enriched, and immersed in intellectual and social experiences.
And I believe that's part of the first two sentences, right, of the statement. Okay, just to make sure everybody's on the same page. Okay. And any, well, that was part of the discussion. Any other thoughts or discussion, Ms. Del Campo?
No, thank you for asking.
Thank you. All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed.
Do we need to now pass the policy again?
You have to.
Mr. President, I move that the governing board approve the revised amended version to policy A district mission and belief statement. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Contras. Do I have a second?
I'll second, but I have a question. Does that now mean that this to go through 2 readings?
Because we're just revising.
Okay.
Piece.
For now.
Any other discussion?
Yes. So thank you very much, governing board, for the amendments. I just wanted to let you all know that with these changes, I'm more than happy to support this policy. Thank you.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Moving to G4, I call for a motion that the governing board approve the second reading of policy AA, school district legal status.
I move that the governing board approve the second reading of the policy AA, school district legal status.
Thank you, Ms. De Ocampo. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Contras. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All in favor say nay. Motion passed. Moving to G5. I call for a motion that the governing board approve the second reading of policy ABA, community involvement in education.
I move that the governing board approve policy ABA, community involvement in education.
Thank you, Mr. Contras. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Ms. De Ocampo. And any discussion?
I just have a comment. It seems like we're just rolling through these, but please remember that these are the second readings of these. So we have had ample time this is our second chance to comment on them.
Yes, thank you, Ms. De Ocampo. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. G6. I call for a motion that the governing board approve the second reading of policy ABAA, parental involvement.
I move that the governing board approve second reading of policy ABAA, parental involvement.
Thank you, Mr. Contras. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Ms. De Ocampo. Any discussion?
President Navarez,
Yes.
I don't believe that this policy needs to be changed, but I will be supporting the motion today. Thank you.
I support this move. I've spent a lot of time in many school districts, and it seems to me some of what we're doing now is stuff that are we required to do because of changes in legislation. But I also respect that we seem to be simplifying some of the verbiage that's in our policy manual. Policy manuals have gotten to be where if they're printed out, they have to come with a wagon on wheels because we have so many pages and so many different things and interpretations and wording. So this one in particular is one that I see has really simplified the language, but still maintained our belief in active involvement of parents in our students' educational processes. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. De Ocampo. Any other further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All in favor, all opposed say nay. Motion passed. Moving to G7, I call for a motion that the governing board approve the second reading of policy AC, non-discrimination and equal opportunity.
Mr. President, I move that the governing board approve the second reading policy AC, non-discrimination / equal opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Contras. Do I have a second?
I second.
Any discussion?
Mr. President, in this part of the agenda, we're getting to things that are pretty big changes, but the good thing is that we're putting students first, we're putting our school district first, and we're ensuring that every kid has access to high quality education. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Contras. Any other discussion?
Some of these policies that are coming forward now are ones that I know we have to change the wording. That's what's going on in our world today. But some of it really hurts me. I sometimes see changes are not always for the good. Having said that, I will support this change.
Thank you, Mr. Ocampo. And just to slightly echo, I'm also feeling that, we're going to be doing this for our students and for our district and, to make sure that all our students have access to high quality education as well. So it's not an easy decision, but to ensure that we, do that, that's where my head's at as well. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passed. G8, I call for a motion that the governing board approve the second reading of policy ACA, sexual harassment.
I move that the governing board approve the second reading of ACA, policy ACA, sexual harassment.
Thank you, Mr. Ocampo. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Contras. Any discussion?
As I read this, I thought it was interesting that Title IX was taken out of this. And I have asked that. All I have to say.
That was more so a comment, Ms.
That was
Ocampo?
comment.
Okay. Any other discussion? All right. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. G9, I call for a motion that the governing board approve the second reading of policy ACAA Title IX, sex discrimination.
Mr. President, I move that the governing board approve the second reading policy ACAA, Title IX, sex discrimination.
Thank you, Mr. Contras. Do I have a second?
A second.
Thank you, Mr. Ocampo. Any discussion?
It's interesting to me that the title of this stays as sex discrimination, but throughout the body of this policy, the wording has been changed to sexual harassment. I see a little bit of a disconnect there. The other comment I would have is that it has been the body, the text of the policy has been divided up with headings, which make it a little bit easier to understand and find the information that you need to find in the policy.
Thank you, Mr. Ocampo. Any further discussion from you? Mr. Contras, how about yourself?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Moving to G10, I call for a motion that the governing board approve the second reading of policy AD, education philosophy / school district mission.
I move that the governing board approve the second reading of policy AD, education philosophy, school district mission.
Thank you, Mr. Ocampo. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Contras. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. G11, I call for a motion that the governing board approve the second reading of policy GBK, staff grievances.
Mr. President, I move that the governing board approve the second reading of policy GBK, staff grievances.
Thank you, Mr. Contras. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Ms. De Ocampo. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Last one. All right, G12. I call for a motion that the governing board approve the second reading of policy JII, student concerns, complaints, and grievances.
I move that the governing board approve the second reading of policy GII.
J, sorry,
J.
G, yeah.
Oh, I said G, I'm sorry. JII, student concerns, complaints, and grievances.
Thank you, Ms. De Ocampo. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Mr. Contras. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passed. Moving to H. This is informational. H1, eighth grade promotion assignments. Just a reminder for all the governing board members to let Dana know which days you are available so you can have your slot for the eighth grade promotions to celebrate with our students. Moving to I, comments, communication. I1, comments from the governing board.
I have some comments. I had the pleasure of going and watching a boys volleyball game. I don't know much about volleyball, but my goodness, those boys were really having a good time out there. I was impressed by the way the coaches had worked with the boys on each team to work as a team. But mostly what I was impressed with was when something didn't go the way they wanted it to go with, or somebody made a mistake, they all just kind of high-fived and laughed and had fun and didn't lose their patience or their temper. They just continued to work to strive to fix whatever it was that was wrong. So it was a very fun event for me to attend. And my gosh, some of those kids, you've got 6th through 8th grade out there, and there must be 2 feet difference in some of those kids. There's like, you really see the difference in the sizes and the makeup of our students, even though their ages are basically the same. Then I also had the opportunity to go to a meeting that Alicia and Michael Rivera of the health staff, another very impressive meeting. Was the commitment of our health staff to looking after the various needs of our students. And as we've all noticed, that all of us in education, we have noticed more and more students coming with more complex and a variety of different needs, from juvenile diabetes to whatever, vision and hearing problems. So the fact that this staff was so on top of all of that and was looking for more training and more ideas of how they could meet the needs of not only the students, but the families of these students that had these needs, because lots of times our families don't know what to do. And then the other exciting part of it was because of grants that Mr. Rivera, I assume you and your staff have written, they went out of there with wagons full of goodies. They even got an ice machine. No more frozen ketchup packets to put on people's boo-boos. They have ice machines. I mean, so incredible that that was thought of. It was awesome. And also collections of Ziploc bags, because you never can have enough Ziploc bags in a health office that covers all sorts of needs. So it was a very impressive meeting, and I appreciate that they let me barge in on their meeting.
Thank you, Ms. De Ocampo. Any other comments?
President Navarez, members of the board, and Dr. Mayes, I just want to say welcome to our 2 new principals. We're really excited for you. I know that you make the best hot dogs. So Sevilla West is gonna get fed well. And I also wanted to acknowledge in the consent agenda we had student travel as item number 6, and it's really exciting to see that Choice Learning Academy, Madrid, and Carol G. Peck and James W. Rice are also going to be going to Washington, D.C. in March of 2026, and then Barcelona is going to the Big Apple, New York City. And it just shows that we provide the best opportunities to all of our students. And I also wanted to let everyone know, thank you so much to the district office staff and to Carol G. Peck. We will be having a nonpartisan town hall with Congresswoman Yasemin Ansari on Saturday. This Saturday, April 19th, from 9 to 11 a.m. In the multipurpose room at Carol G. Peck. And that it's also going to be with the Southwest Fair Housing Council. So there will be discussion on housing, affordable housing, and homelessness. And lastly, I just want to say welcome back to our guests, and also thank you so much for everything you do every single day for our kids. We really appreciate all of you.
Mr. Conchas, who's going to be one of the guest speakers at that event on Saturday?
Oh, I forgot that myself, Councilmember Conchas, and school board member Conchas will be on the panel. Is that what you were asking?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. And just wanted to express my deep gratitude on just the staff, the support that you all give to our students and families each day. I think with these trying times that some may feel, I think people look to their schools and who's there for them. You all the time. Things that people don't notice, people don't realize you're resolving conflicts left and right, and handling student crises to family family resources. And I appreciate you all just being on the lookout for that and just being there for our families, because families who go through a lot, they again look to their schools, and it's great to have you all there, part of that.
President Navarez?
Yes.
Before we move on, we got all of these amazing thank you cards from Carol G. Peck Student Council on our desk. Thank you so much. I really appreciate them.
Thank you. For the thank.
All right. Moving to I2, governing board directions or agenda item requests.
I have a request, not an immediate one, because I know it's the end of the year and there's plenty to keep all of you busy with testing and end of the year wrap up and all the stuff that's going on with concerning that. But I would at some point in time like to see a report of our school facilities and how we are maximizing or minimizing the use of our facilities and how the enrollment matches up with the space that's available. I said that right. If not, give you clarification later when you ask.
Thank you, Ms. Del Campo. Do I have any other directions from the governing board? Hearing none. Now moving to I3, comments from superintendent and executive team.
Good evening, everyone. I know I normally start right away with our cabinet here, but I just wanted to speak to your comment, Ms. Del Campo, that I know Ms. Billiou was sharing with me. They're actively working. Our principals can tell you on our plan, looking at our facilities, given our declining enrollment. And Ms. Billiou was sharing how she showed up early this morning to meet with Madrid to look at their space. And if you recall, exactly. And that's when the two of them realized, I don't know that we really needed this meeting here. But either way, you'll get an update, and that's something that we're definitely working on. And actually, it's Mrs. Billiou leading those efforts. So thank you. So would you like to begin us this evening with our updates? Thank you.
President Navarez, members of the board, and Dr. Mayes, as member Conchas shared, with the approval of tonight's agenda, you've just supported students in taking part in some truly exciting travel adventures. And we are seeing growth and enthusiasm across our schools to offer these kinds of experiences. And I wanted to take a moment to share how we support that process. When it comes to student travel, our approach is rooted in equity, opportunity, and student empowerment. Schools propose travel experiences aligned with instructional goals, extracurricular activities, and student interests. Funding varies from trip to trip. Some are supported in part through tax credits, tax credits, or partnerships, but many are powered by the dedication of our students, staff, and families through creative and purposeful fundraising efforts. These efforts aren't just about raising money. They teach our students to goal set, teamwork, to communicate, and to persevere. We are committed to ensuring that travel remains accessible, meaningful, and safe. These opportunities often become defining moments in a student's educational journey, and when students see a dream trip within reach and hard work to make it happen, they grow, not just in knowledge, but in confidence and character. And we are proud to support our schools in expanding these opportunities and grateful to our board for continuing to prioritize experiences that truly enrich our students' lives.
Good evening to our board president, our board members, our superintendent, Dr. Mayes. I want to make two quick comments tonight. The first one is just to our counselors and social workers here in Alhambra. We call them our CSWs. I want to thank them and just kind of highlight a little of what they've done all year. As Ms. Bill, you talked about field trips, I was reminded of back in November, right? They supported our students in a life skills field trip through the Rotary Club, and they accompanied them and spent their Saturday with them to learn life skills. In addition, they've supported our parents. I think of Counselor Michelle Bells, who led a parent class called The Power of Positive Parenting. And then I think of our counselors who are in classrooms at Madrid teaching our Leader in Me standards to a third grade group who was having trouble understanding each other's perspectives. So tonight, I just highlight a few of the things that our counselors are doing. But my second comment is to our board. I want to say thank you. Brian Stevenson has a quote that says this: always do the right thing, even when the right thing is the hard thing. And I want to say thank you for doing the right thing on behalf of our students. And I know, and we've had conversations, it wasn't the easy thing, but it was the right thing. And the right thing always matters. So tonight, thank you.
Thank you. President Navarez, governing board members, Dr. Myers, and our Alhambra community. As you may remember, we published all of our contracts and notices of appointments back in March 15th, and I have some preliminary retention data I would love to share with you. As you know, our deadline has passed for our certified contracts and NOAs. And between both certified and support staff, we had just over 94% of our employees sign their contracts in return. We're real excited. We're going to continue. That's our cursory first look at it, and we'll continue. And we know we have another week for our psychologists and administrators, but looking good so far. And another reminder that our insurance open enrollment just opened today. And so all those folks that are coming back, please go on in and select your insurance assignments. That's it. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful 3-day weekend.
Thank you, Governing Board President Nevares, governing board members, and our superintendent, Dr. Mayes. Back in January, I was so excited sharing that we were going to go on a Parents' Day Capital Tour again this year, taking students, parent volunteer coordinators, and our parents. And we have taken our tour, and it was a day of celebration. We proudly represented Alhambra with 52 participants, including Dr. Mayes. We had a beautiful booth representing Alhambra, thanks to our Conrail team. And we had wonderful tours that took us through to teach us the history of our state, the meaningful representations in the museum. And our families were really excited to have the opportunity to learn, to realize what is in the middle of their city that they could go to maybe on the weekend, but also that the Secretary of State, Fontes, was able to meet with our team and speak to them, personally telling our kids how resilient that they are and to be strong, and the hard work, the mental and the physical hard work pays off, and that just to keep moving forward. And then he reminded the families, and you got to push them to do it. And then Representative Aguilar also gave us time in the House and talked to the families about his experience that drew him to be a legislator, and how he experienced his dad being taken from his home. And it really resonated with our families, and they felt comfortable enough to speak and ask questions. And the whole way back on the bus, we were very tired and sore with all those steps that we walked. But it was a very meaningful day, and we've received nothing but positive celebrations from the community that went. So thank you for your support with that.
Governing Board President Navarez, governing board members, Superintendent Dr. Mayes. This week, site coaches and principals participated in the AESD Coaching Academy with NIET. During the Coaching Academy, they reflected on their plans, and they looked at student work. They also looked at ways to differentiate in the classroom. Teams also viewed a classroom video to plan a coaching conversation using the NIET teaching and learning standards. We received very positive feedback from the coaches and principals who said things such as, I feel much more prepared for coaching, and this has brought clarity and focus to my instructional coaching conversations. We appreciate the work our teams have done to build our coaching capacity and ultimately benefit student learning. Also, Teacher Appreciation Week is coming up May 5th through May 9th. So happy Teacher Appreciation Week ahead of time. And we look forward to celebrating our teachers and all of their hard work during this week. Thank you.
Thank you all. I would like to congratulate Mr. Hale and Ms. Cohen and welcome you to our administrative team. So we're excited to have you. Ms. Gonzalez shared about our visit to the Capitol, and the highlight for me personally was when Secretary of State Fuentes asked our parents, and students if they had any questions, and one of our parents, you would have been proud because she made me proud and really proud of you all, that she wanted to know, why aren't you supporting our schools, and just was kind of advocating for you all, and just wanted to speak to the great things that are happening in our schools and wanting their support, and he responded very well. But for me, I saw the passion and her love for our schools and for our educators, and she just seeing that she wanted to stand up for you all just made me so proud. And so you should be very proud of yourselves. Your hard work is seen. And so the highlight for me this week was spending time with our Catalina students as they engaged in a financial literacy game that's sponsored by Visa. So we took them to a resort in Scottsdale, and the kids, it was just so amazing to see them. And what really made me proud was just they were answering those questions. So it was a game, they were playing an NFL game. And I know Mrs. Bill, you commented on how Miss Ankrum, they said, that's my teacher. She taught us all of this. And they knew those answers. And so it made us really proud. And everyone kept saying what great students we had and how respectful they were. And they really represented Alhambra well. And so again, making us all proud. And so thank you all for your hard work, and may you have a wonderful 3-day weekend, holiday weekend. Thank you.
I would like, can I make a comment, or is that illegal?
I mean, we passed our.
I know we did, but I'm going to make it anyway. I want to reflect on what Ms. Perry said about the 94% retention rate, because I know you and your team put out hard work into that, but it represents all the hard work that you all have done in making our staff feel appreciated and welcomed at our sites. So it is reflective of your work, but it's reflective of our commitment as a community and as a school district to the way we respect our staff.
President Navarro, I'd like to be fair and impartial.
Last time.
Thinking in my mind 92%, and when you said 94, I got really excited. Thank you.
All right, moving to J, meeting closing. J1, next governing board meeting is scheduled for May 15th. J2, calendar events. Please check the AESD calendar, and you can see the calendar events there. Moving to J3, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Move that we adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Conchas. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Mr. Ocampo. All in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Get to sign. I did think of that a while back. If we can.